All right. Is this thing on?
It's kind of scared there. It was only me in that picture. And I was like, am I doing the show alone?
I almost forgot how to work this thing. I had to do some fast clicking around here. I had to get the chat going. I was logged in as some weird host account or something. So I think we got it all figured here. 4:04 gave everybody a quick chance to jump in, but these 4 o'clock West Coast time, 7 o'clock Eastern time are always a little bit hit or miss, but people can always watch once it's recorded, right?
It's 8 a.m. somewhere.
8 a.m. So Indonesia, our friends. And we totally spaced it on our NFT for this show, so we're gonna have to.
I thought we had that really cool one, that 3D model one.
We'll just go ask one of these new AIs to make us a sweet NFT for this show or something. So we got a lot to cover. We haven't been on here in a while, so we got a lot to cover. We can jump right into it here. What I feel like I'm forgetting something. People know who we are. We don't have to do introductions, right?
No, I don't
Everyone
think so.
knows who you are. All right, well, let's jump right in. We got a couple new stablecoin announcements. You want to cover one? I'll cover the other.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it. Well, I actually there was a yen and a USD. They are G yen and Z USD, right? And so they got released, but apparently the only way to acquire them was through like an application process. So I was kind of the guinea pig there, and it was actually November 11th. I filled out the application. A lot of KYC stuff, but whatever. I'm a guinea pig. Can lock my credit report or something for a while, be okay. So I applied November 11th to get access to these. Heard nothing. It said it would be like 3-4 weeks, so I wasn't expecting a ton. Literally a month later, so just a couple days ago, I get another email asking me to now go register somewhere else to actually be able to purchase these things. So I've just completely given up. I don't know if it's not. It might be set up in a way that it's not necessarily meant for us to directly buy it. It's more for institutions or something, kind of like a Circle. You can be, you get it from directly from them through some sort of account. So I don't know, but I don't see much action from it yet on the DEX. But there is a forthcoming yen stablecoin from a pretty trusted institution. So I mean, it just slow moving. It's not an ideal time to be working with this stuff, but
it's just hard when they issue stable coins and then we don't see any movement on the DEX. So, we have that element of transparency and nothing happens.
Yeah. And there's another after. So the other one real quick, Mercado Bitcoin came out with a Brazilian Real, MBRL is the ticker for that. And so they came out with that. And the cool part there is they're actually going to have trading pairs with it on their exchange, which is super cool. Hopefully there's a way to people can then get those off of the exchange. If it's a Stellar token, obviously they should be able to take it, and self custody that through their own wallet as opposed to being on the exchange. So it'll be interesting. But for now, I checked and I didn't really see anything that looked trustworthy on the public network yet. So I don't know where they're at. And it's also a little bit hard to get information about this because the only website, Cointelegraph has it on like their Brazilian website, like you're showing.
But it's not in English.
Yeah, it's not in English. And when you translate it, it doesn't really come across that great. And so it's just a little bit hard to see where they're at with the process. But I didn't see anything, so don't be fooled by any MBRL token on the DEX currently.
There is a ton.
I looked at it, I didn't really see anything that looked that trustworthy.
And there's a ton of remittance to Brazil. I know as Canadians, we do have a lot of rails to Brazil, so that's kind of cool seeing. And I know there's been a big focus in Latin America, so Argentina. Like it's nice seeing. I wonder if we're going to be doing a Meridian in South America next year.
We'll see. We've got a lot of community members down there, so I think they would enjoy that. But it's a long trip for me, even longer for you, I guess.
It's a long trip to Rome, so
yes. Yes,
Wow.
we made that pilgrimage once.
uh,
We gotta have a closer one here at some point.
but what's
But
interesting is they've been Stellar. So Cheesecake Labs has been around for a while, but just in the backdrop of Stellar, we don't really know who they are. And I found out during Meridian that they're the ones that do most of the design work for Stellar projects, which is kind of cool. They're referred by SDF all the time, and they actually have some pretty cool projects like the Token Factory, which allows you to easily issue assets on the testnet.
yeah, it's still just
That's
testnet,
cool.
right?
But I'm assuming that the Token Factory was a precursor to this, what we're seeing here. So it was. I'm assuming it was a tool that was built for either a stable coin to be able to like mint and burn it and manage it, or for their CBDC project that they've been working with Mercado as well in that competition. So it looks like Cheesecake Lab is really getting integrated within Stellar. They're starting to become visible, which is nice to see. It's nice to see new stable coins, especially stable coins that matter. To be honest, like I don't see much action in Japan, especially on the Stellar network. So this is, I don't know. I feel like Latin America has really wanted to integrate.
Yeah. And one thing on the stablecoin front, so I talked to MJ the other day from Novati, and one thing that she mentioned, because I was asking kind of about market making in regards to their AUDD
Yeah,
stablecoin, the Australian digital dollar. And one thing that she mentioned is with part of this blow up with, FTX, there's a lot of market makers that are just trying to like sift through the ashes and like see what's left. And so she didn't mention, any specifics or anything, but it led me to believe, there might be a hard time with some of these companies launching stablecoins and getting liquidity going because a lot of these market makers are kind of just, like I said, sifting through the ashes, trying to see what they have left.
yeah.
So,
Stablecoins issuers, especially when you're essentially you have to prove that you have the underlying assets to back your stablecoin, and like that was what was everything that was wrong with FTX is that there was no good transparency mechanisms that were there to be able to see what the assets that they held and where they were. So like again, if we're getting a stablecoin that's like again we're giving it to a company, where is that stablecoin being used? Where are those assets being used that we're sending to them? It's going to be really hard, and it's going to have to, I think the first steps are going to have to come from banks or establishments that have already earned a reputation to make those first steps, because new players that are starting their own stablecoins or algorithmic stablecoins are just not going to have the trust.
yeah. And everyone's thought process now is immediately, it's not going to be like an innocent till proven guilty thing. It's going to be
Yeah,
like, we do not trust you until you prove that we can trust you, which I'm pretty much like that in my normal life, anyways. So I'm not opposed to that way of thinking, especially when it comes to money. You
yeah.
need to, I need to believe in you before I'm going to trust you. So,
Hence why you're in Stellar, man. Like
yeah,
that's
no,
why you're
right.
here.
So much trust here. It's in the
It's
trust
great.
tree. In the
But
trust tree.
I do, that leads me like to the conversation about SBF, and I think that the whole FTX scenario was something that was necessary for crypto. I think it needed to happen so that we can't just have like a whole degen space where we trust anyone and we throw money at them, and we're going to need to don't trust, verify, right? You want to research and understand the organisms that you're investing in. So this is important, or organizations that you invest in.
Cool. So that's some stablecoin news. What else we got? What's your first
Uh,
thing today?
I think we were going to jump into Stellar Community Fund.
Let's do it. Community fund. We got some winners, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, look at you with the screen share.
See past
So this was
winners.
SCF, what?
11.
11? There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said SBF FTX needed, holy crap. Maybe the worst timing, Luna 3AC and FTX. Yeah, it was not a good all-in-one. And let's not discount the fact that a lot of people lost money, and this was not good. But I think long-term, like the shadow money in the space, or the shadow money that we didn't know existed, or like, again, there was just so much fluff, and to be able to focus on the important things Like we need to be able to focus. And if there's too much noise in the space and there's like money being thrown around and people are just scamming everyone, then we're not going to build. So this is I personally feel the fall of FTX has a lot of positives.
Sounds weird, but I get what you mean.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but I don't know. I still can't believe we let a guy who wore shorts into a congressional hearing. Like, and like that hairdo man, like I just don't understand why he was the image of crypto.
Peak.
Yeah.
Peak.
Anyway, Stellar community round 11. We saw a lot of winners, some new ones, and that we don't really know much about in the space.
Because they upped the amount of XLM total in the prize pool, right?
Yeah, to a lot of money. I can't tell you what
more to go around.
Onchain.ai, someone that we don't really know about in the space. They already have a tool that's built. It's like through a paywall. You actually have to pay to use the service. They asked for just under 200 grand. So they got 200 grand. It's a cool program. Don't get me wrong. It's to be able to, follow the money, understand or report scams. And then the scams get tied to an address, which you can follow. It makes a lot of sense as a product. But I think 200 grand just to add the Stellar network as like something that's supported. I'm not sure if it was worth 200 grand, but I think the actual product is interesting and I'm excited to see it, but I hope that it's open source, or not necessarily open source, but open to anyone to use. It's a waste if nobody can use it.
Yeah. Were they the top vote getter?
195,000. I think they were.
They were or Brave Pay 200. I just didn't know if these were listed in like votes received or anything.
These are two of the major ones. There was Horizon as a service, which you can use parts of Horizon. You don't have to, just based on the data that you need, which is kind of cool. This one is done by HTDEP or TDEP or whatever his name is.
TDEP.
And he's done a lot of Sorobonathon submissions. So it was kind of cool to see. He's got a project that's actually built on turrets. So I'm assuming he's applied for it with turrets, and then he's going to eventually build it out to Sorobonathon, or sorry, Sorbonne. This one was interesting. This is Stellar Carbon. Stellar Carbon is actually by another community guy called Convergence, or he works with the team, and it's about offsetting your carbon, offsetting your carbon, and then you're actually interacting with the Ver registry directly from the Stellar blockchain. So you can verify your carbon offset directly on chain. So which is kind of cool. And then Flora is interesting because they were not, like, we weren't supposed to have Sorbonne projects in round 11, and Flora came through. They were done by Mojo Flower. One of our community members, Enrique, used to do a lot of work with them. So I knew that they were kind of legit. Enrique thinks that they're awesome.
Yeah, but it's not actually built on Sorbonne. It's just a marketplace for Sorbonne smart contracts.
Yeah. And so it's a marketplace for third-party smart contracts, which is kind of cool. I'm hoping that there's a lot of sharing of contracts that you don't have to go and buy them.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. Spacewalk, Satoshi Pay, they came back asking for more money, which is great. But I know they started their own token recently. So I'm kind of on the edge of how I feel about that. They're asking for money, but then I don't know if they're funding necessarily their project with a token.
Yeah, the whole structure of Satoshi Pay, Spacewalk, Pendulum, all that stuff's getting a little convoluted in my head, but yeah.
And what is it called?
Amplitude or something?
Amplitude, yeah. Yeah, it's getting, I don't really understand the whole picture anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, those people are. Sorry?
That was where the winners cut off. The rest are just, or those are all. Yeah.
Most of them are smaller projects. MythForge is a guy who's building a game. Biometrics with Stellar. I don't really know much about these other projects, to be honest with you. When I vote for a project, I look for people that are visible in the community. If you're president and I know who you are, then I'm going to want to vote for you so that you can get money to play and learn and build on Stellar. I don't really care.
In case if you try running away, we can call you out and say, hey, where you been?
I think that's a part of Stellar Community Fund is, if you're visible, we need to be able to call you out, and we know. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Cool. And when is we don't know when the next round kicks off, right?
No, not yet, unfortunately.
But I know I saw Anka just posted a DAO blog post, right? So they're going to switch to a DAO, you think? Or there's a whole bunch of DAO talk. There was a talk at Meridian she did about a DAO. Now she's doing blog posts about a DAO. So
I'm curious to see how a DAO kind of functions, especially like how do we attribute voting power to who? And there's a lot of moving parts. I would be surprised to see it move for next round, but we never know. So
cool.
Yeah, Sorbonathon. Do you want me to jump to Sorbonathon?
Yeah, jump right into Sorbonathon. You are the man with Sorbonathon.
That's right.
Probably whoever's viewing this probably just got a notification because they follow the channel due to all of your Sorbonathon, Sorbonne Quest videos.
That's right. And that right before, I guess we could start talking about Stellar Quests. We've had a lot of hits on our YouTube channel because of our tutorials.
Your tutorials, come on.
Our tutorials.
You can toot your own horn here. You're the one doing all those videos.
I feel
have nothing to do with those.
I feel kind of bad because one of the things that scared me off of Stellar Quest for a long time was I remember getting stuck and then just dropping it completely. And if I had a video to kind of get me over that hump, I would have finished them a long time ago. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make the videos. I told Tyler at Meridian, I'm going to work on this the week after I get back, and I'm going to do it. So I sat down after Meridian, and I just started pumping out videos on Stellar Quest. And unfortunately, there was a lot of abuse with the videos. And that was never the intention of them. But there was adjustments to Stellar Quest and the rewards because of how many people started jumping in. And I think we started getting I think it was 70,000 viewers. It was something insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was.
For anyone that doesn't know, if there's anyone that isn't aware, Stellar Quest is at quest.stellar.org. It's an amazing way to learn about how the network works. You don't have to have a technical background. You don't have to be a developer. It's very good to learn. And there's multiple series. I think there's only maybe 5 is the only one that you can still do, the Learn series.
I don't even think the Learn series. Yeah,
the Learn series you can still do, I think. But yeah, anyone that has it, that's what we're talking about. Definitely go visit quest.stellar.org and do those. It's a great learning opportunity. And if you get stuck, you can check out Raph's videos on our channel.
Our videos. We have been pumping out more content since, though. We've been, I feel like we've been more motivated by monetizing the channel. We've gotten a whole $1.80 yesterday. It was great. So
total. Not just in a day. Total. That's cumulative, but it's at least nice to see something come through. So yeah, if we're talking about content on the channel, you've done all the Sorbonne Quest videos, Stellar Quest videos. I just did a how to mint your own token on Stellar, which is super cheap, super easy. I think it's cost you 50 cents technically if you were to do it on the public network.
Yeah.
Then you had your how to mint an NFT using Lightmint and Albedo. And
super cool. Yeah. I'm so happy that Lightmint's integrated that, man. Now we can go and do stuff on Lightmint on a phone and you don't have to install any extensions. So just straight out from your browser on your phone, no apps, no extensions. It's slick and it's smooth. I highly recommend anybody who hasn't played with Albedo on Lightmint, go do so.
True. Well, we got sidetracked there. Go ahead, Sorbonathon.
But yeah, if you guys ever want to see more videos or you have the content that you'd like to see, throw us a message and we'll make it happen. So yeah, Sorbonathon was the first part of that 100 million, or Sorbonathon First Light is a dev adoption fund for the new smart contract platform. And I think this first portion was $1 million.
Yeah, it was $1 million.
$1 million. I don't think they gave all that away.
No, I think there's a good portion of that still left.
But there was a bunch of different ways that you could participate and get some moolah. So here's the Sorbonathon GitHub here.
Yeah, so all the submissions were done on GitHub through discussions.
Mm-hmm. And they were looking for tutorials and code examples and fun apps. They weren't looking for like whole products necessarily, but people submitted some pretty polished projects, which is kind of sweet. I have some submissions that I've highlighted. I'll talk about the other stuff in a second here. We had some lottery contracts, so you buy tickets, some money gets locked up, and then one person wins. That was one of the contracts that was written about. There was a Dutch auction, so the prices decreases over time. Still is kind of the same idea as the lottery. Super interesting. We have some initial work for SDKs. So the Stellar Python SDK supporting Sorbonne, and then also I think
Overcat's like the SDK master. Like, he does all the SDK stuff.
And then there was the other guy, Suneso, that started the work for the assembly script.
Yeah, he did I know he did the PHP one that I worked with recently. He did that one too.
Mm-hmm. Someone said, "I wish they extended Sorbonne-a-thon in our month." But to be honest, they're going to put some new bounties or new like Sorbonne activities up. So there's going to be much more coming for getting some free XLM here. Raheem did a DAO contract, so being able to make decisions together by using a contract. You earn reputation by participating in the DAO, which helps you vote on decisions. There was some tic-tac-toe, so you can play tic-tac-toe with somebody else in the world through Sorbonne. This one you really enjoyed too. I don't know if you remember this one.
Dev portal? I don't think I...
that was the Will to Work. This guy. A Sorbonne dev guy.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, with the sorbonnedev.com. Yeah, I learned a ton by just following along. Like, I needed it broken down into like piece by piece by piece, which some of the Sorbonne-a-thon submissions, even for the more like advanced contracts, the people that broke it down kind of step by step with like a code chunk and then like here's what's happening, and then a code chunk and like here's what's happening, helped me a ton. Not enough to knock out Sorbonne Quest very quickly or anything, but it at least helped me understand stuff.
And it was interesting because it was done from a JavaScript developer, so he's like talking the differences that he sees in JavaScript versus on Rust. So it's cool seeing like different devs talking about how they're seeing Sorbonne. There was
we had Marcus, doing his 7 Cs.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I had the hardest time like reading it because I kept trying to talk like a pirate while
do you want to read it for us?
And then it would go kind of back and forth. It would have the pirate talk, and then it would go like have an explanation without pirate talk.
Yeah, this one was kind of cool. You go
pirate talk, like
you go on different journeys. I guess you lock up your money, which you go on a journey, and then you have the possible reward at the end, or a reward at the end, and you gain money for lock or staking your funds. So a journey is essentially staking. You send your money on a journey, and at the end you gain money or you gain something back from it.
Yeah, but then you can like go on a dig or something, right? Yeah, you bury it, and then if you dig it, you can almost like dig someone else's up or something. I forget how it works.
You can actually, I think, like go and attack people that are on other people's journeys or something. So
yeah, but it was written in a fun way. So, but we got excited seeing Marcus. We're excited for Script3's yield blocks to be the first, hopefully, kind of DeFi protocol on Stellar. So it's good to see those guys working on stuff, even if it's just for fun right here.
When the biggest like DeFi brains, I should say, on Stellar are making Sorbonne like submissions, it's pretty encouraging. And I really hope we do see. I know he doesn't like Ohm, which is like this is an Ohm ripoff for Stellar, but it'd be really cool seeing a pirate DeFi project on Stellar. I would see it.
Well, if there is, they can hire him to be a copywriter at least.
Yeah.
He's got the copywriting and the pirate speak down good, so that's good.
I wonder if you had to do like lots of Googling. I had to Google how to do pirate talk.
Yeah, it might have been AI. You never know.
Chat GPT some pirate talk. Talk to me like a pirate. So again, lots of different submissions, lots of cool stuff to go check out in discussions. We also had a part of Stellar Quest in Series 5 was you could actually submit artwork instead of doing any kind of dev applications. So we saw some really cool dev work, really cool artwork, some Lego projects, which is, I thought it was pretty neat. Some really cool pixel art, which goes with the branding of Stellar Quest. This one was like super cool for me. I really enjoyed this. Appreciate that it was minted on Fimi as well. Fimi's like doesn't get enough credit for how cool it works. It works between ETH and Stellar.
Yeah, you can mint on either chain, right?
Yeah, or you can mint. You can put it out for sale, and then one person can either buy on ETH or Stellar. The person who could buy it can also choose, which is cool. But yeah, so this one is like an Oriental art themed Stellar Quest art submission. And I really wanted to do like, I don't know, I wanted to do like put like a Christmas hat on or something and then print it out as a book and then read it by the fire. We should do that on our channel. I think that would be great. Like a Christmas Sorbonne Quest reading.
Oh man.
Maybe that's going to be for our next episode.
Yeah. Spoken like a pirate.
But yeah, this one I really enjoyed. And this, like, again, this art segment of Sorbonne-a-thon was extremely lucrative. I think it was like 5,100 XLM that you can get if you drew all 7 pictures. And there was a lot of AI generated content in the submissions, and they got money too. So I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm on the fence.
Yeah, I like, again, if parts of it are used through AI like this, I don't know how Miriam creates this art here. Again, really cool, and I know she's added her animations into it. But when there's like small, like low quality art, like this is a very tiny picture, it almost says to me that it might be partially AI generated. Not to badmouth this project because I think it's fantastic. But when we have low quality content that's just created very fast,
yeah,
I don't know how I feel about it.
It's like the new world we're in now, man. It's like you're gonna have to have that in the back of your head the whole time. Everything you look at, oh, is this AI? Well, see, that's cool with the book. That's not AI.
Yeah. So she added her own touch to it. Super cool. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that one.
Yeah. So
and who is this?
Miriam. I can't read that name. Andor.
Oh,
something. And I like that it's a collection too. So she built a collection for it.
Did she come over from a different project or something, or has she been on Lightman and stuff, or what's?
She's done stuff beforehand. I don't know if you've seen this. These launched with Fimi a while back.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyways, but yeah, so super cool art style. I really appreciate seeing stuff like that. We had some children art. This one looks a little bit explicit. It's supposed to be some potions, but there's some stuff on that table. But yeah, so this was Tyler's family drawing stuff, which is pretty cool. They're also the ones that did the Lego art.
Looks like Leo drew that or something.
Yeah. He still has it as his profile pic, which I love.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, Leo. Oh, I was like,
yeah, Leo. No, Tyler doesn't have this as his picture. Yeah. There was also someone who submitted a full Game Boy game, which is kind of cool.
And this was someone that John, I think, brought over from some other.
No music to it though. We need some music. I really wanted to see a Sorbonne-a-thon jingle.
Jingle?
like a music thing. That would have been super cool to see. I still hope somebody does it. Somebody needs to make music for Stellar. Or make us an intro song.
Yeah, it would be very Indiana Jones-esque or something to follow the
some 8-bit music, whatever it's called.
Yeah, mixed with Indiana Jones.
Yeah. But yeah,
so I know, Tyler, there's supposed to be another series coming out sometime soon with kind of a different play on stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see how the Stellar Quest kind of evolves. But yeah, it was fun. It was very intimidating. I don't know how you felt about Stellar Quest, but I felt like I was,
Sorbonne Quest?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind the ones that were at night for me at night
Yeah.
because I didn't have to set an alarm. And then, but if I have to set an alarm, I'm not a morning person. So I set an alarm and then just like go from sleeping to just like max frustration, just like that. Not,
How
not,
many keyboards? How many keyboards?
not a good, not a good way to start the day in most cases. So yeah.
Yeah,
I got,
it was weird because like you would like it, when you look back at the quests, they're not that bad. But when you do them like in your high stress and you don't know what's going on and you're competing with everyone else trying to finish off faster, you can't think straight. And you do stupid shit and you don't read all the instructions and it's like and you see people finish like in a couple of minutes and you're sitting there, it's like 30 minutes later and you're still
yeah.
going at it
Yeah,
an
it's super
hour
frustrating.
later.
Everyone starts posting like their placement or whatever, and
Yeah.
they're all excited. And it's like, yeah, I'm on step one. Thank you. Now
A
I
couple
know
of
how.
times I got like 30 XLM because I did it like afterwards, and I was like sitting there. I was like, but I worked so hard.
Hey, you can pay your network fees for like the rest of your life with those 30X.
100%.
So, all right, cool. We're already ticking away time here before we get to the juicy stuff at the end
Yeah, we
here.
haven't
So
even
let's
touched the juicy stuff.
yeah, get to the juicy stuff. Let's buzz through this last few items. So we also had I just wanted to mention this real quick because there was some confusion around this. So we've had for a while, Stellar's had a partnership with Elliptic to kind of keep an eye on things. I think this came kind of when the MoneyGram stuff was probably going into action. They kind of needed a way to make sure nothing nefarious was going on there. And so there was also a new one that came about, and it was mentioned recently, and it was Merkle Science. And some people commented on this because it's a little bit confusing the way it's worded. And I'm going to highlight here the part that I'm talking about because it kind of reads like people and projects on Stellar will be able to use this service. So apparently they have their service is called Compass, and it reads extending Merkle's Science's coverage to the Stellar network means that companies on Stellar will be able to offer their developers and users an extra layer of assurance against threats like hacks or scams. And then it keeps talking about allowing developers on Stellar and stuff. So it almost seems like not necessarily a behind the scenes thing from sorry, I went full screen. You can't even see us. From sorry, I'll take that away. There we go. Like a behind the scenes thing, like Elliptic. It seems like it's more of a thing that developers can use. So people were confused. I know when it was posted on Reddit or somewhere, people were really confused by some of these lines in here, which I kind of understand because the way it's written, it kind of sounds like anyone who's building on Stellar now has access to these tools. So, is SDF paying for this just so the developers have this tool at their disposal or something, or don't really know. But this is listed. They just came out with a like a partnerships page on the website, like an integration partner type thing, and they're listed. Merkle Science is listed, excuse me, on there right next to Elliptic. So I don't know. We'll see. It was just
We
kind of
might need, we might need some good analytics for the good stuff to come.
there. You go. Wink, 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 wink.
Wink, wink, wink,
There
wink.
you go. And then let's see what else. The last thing that we had was let me take this off of here. We had the KuCoin thing. So
What's the KuCoin thing?
it was KuCoin, right? For the Muxt accounts?
Oh no, that was Kraken. Oh, Kraken.
Kraken. Cricket.
Crickets. It was cricket.
Hey, see, I have this thing in my head, the way my mind works. If words start with the same letter and have the same amount of letters, they're the same thing. So KuCoin and Kraken, in my head, they're the same thing. So
Almost
yes.
sounds like dyslexia, which is okay.
So Kraken now by default, apparently on mobile supports muxed accounts or multiplex accounts, which for users like us or someone that doesn't know what a muxed account is, it's basically a way to embed
Is it
a
muxed or
memo.
muxed? What was it? Muxed?
Muxed.
Muxed.
Muxed. Yeah,
Sorry,
I
this is
Googled it. And
important.
the Google
Is that
result, I hit the
actually a
play
word
button.
in the English language? Is that like a thing?
Mux, right?
Mux.
Mux. Should I just
Mux.
say multiplexed because that's easier to
Oh,
say?
that's what it means. Multiplex.
Yeah, it's short for
No,
multiplex
let's
accounts.
just do Mux. I think we
Yeah.
should no, Elon Musk.
Yes. And look, yeah. See, G knows what's up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's my favorite thing. I got Vibrant to support it. So, anyways, it's multiplexed accounts or
Mhm.
addresses, I should say, are a way to embed the ID in an address. So when you send to an exchange and it's send it to this address and make sure you include this memo, you can forget all that nonsense and it'll give you an address. And on their end, it'll turn it into an address and an ID. So saves a ton of trouble. And now on mobile, Kraken now defaults to that. And so the thing is, I'm a little bit on the fence on whether they should be doing it by default because there's tons of wallets. Like if you were to go into your Coinbase account
Mhm.
and want to send over to Kraken with, and it defaults to a Muxed account address, I can almost guarantee you that Coinbase is going to say that's not legit.
Maybe
And
that's a good thing.
so
Maybe Coinbase starts realizing that there's new accounts
yeah,
that
so that's why I'm on the fence. I'm like, okay, well, is this just kind of like the first step? And now all the other exchanges are going to be like, shoot, we need to go ahead and support this ourselves, which is crazy why they don't, because Coinbase
it's
Pro,
super simple.
yeah, in Coinbase Pro, for example, there was a guy I had to help on Reddit that lost like thousands of XLM to Coinbase and was having a super hard time getting it back because Coinbase Pro, every time you go to the deposit page, you
Yeah.
get a different deposit address and a different memo. And what was happening in the app, and it actually happened to me, but I caught it before actually going through, is you would grab the address and they switch to the wallet and they paste the address, then they go back to Coinbase. And the way the app was working on Coinbase Pro was when they would go back, it would like refresh the page and come up with a new pair of address and memo, and Coinbase wouldn't pick up on that, and so people were having this problem, and so it's just a huge problem. And so if we can get every exchange and every wallet to support Muxed accounts, all these problems will go away. And I mean, it's a benefit to users because they don't have to, copy two different things and there's a lot of room for error. And it's also, and I'm making a
You want
video
like
for the
a
channel
little
on what's that?
TLDR what they are?
Of what?
Muxed accounts or multiplex accounts. Do you want to give us a
Multiple.
little quick explanation of what actually they do?
Well, it just embeds the ID in an address. I mean, it's really as simple as that. And as users, that's all you need to know. Like that's all you need to know. If you're giving an address that starts with M, it's a Muxed account and there's an ID embedded in there.
And it's just a little longer.
It's a
That's
little
it.
bit longer, yeah, because it encodes the ID, the integer on the end of it. So yeah, it'll start with an M, and then the rest will look almost identical. Will be identical pretty much to the regular G address, and then there will be like an extra. I think it's about 12 characters on the end, where that ID is encoded at the end.
You're
But
working on a video
also,
for this, right?
what's that?
You're working on a video
Yeah, I'm
for
working
this.
on a video for this because I don't think people really, it's kind of confusing on why it's beneficial. And it's also beneficial to exchanges. Not only will they have less support requests, but also you can send from a Muxed account. So if, say, for instance, I use Coinbase, or let's just say Kraken, let's give them shout outs since they're the first one doing this. So you deposit to this Muxed account. They can then, when you request a withdrawal, it can come from that Muxed account. So not only do they have their internal, databases keeping track of stuff, but
Mhm.
that will also be on the ledger now. So if anything ever happens, you can see your withdrawals coming from Kraken. So
Mhm.
it's a benefit on both sides. I mean, it's crazy that it's taken this long for kind of a bigger exchange to support it. But like I
Mhm.
said, the wallets need to support it, just like the exchanges need to support it. And Recently, I got like Lobster was an issue with scanning
The QR
a
codes.
Mux QR code.
Yeah.
And so there needs to be more education for sure. So that's part of the reason why I'm making a video. So hopefully exchanges and wallets and everybody will be like, okay, this makes sense from both points of view.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a total time suck for the customer service of all these exchanges with how many people mess this up.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't know why, if it's been available, and for sure that everyone's account at all these different exchanges you're literally just a number in a database, literally an integer in a database, which is what the memo should typically probably be. And so the reason why they don't use it, it's just crazy. But they've been
They have
around
something that
forever.
works, and like they don't want to use it. Even path payments, like when you send something and someone receives a different asset, a lot of that isn't recognized by exchanges, and that's lost too. So
Yeah, and Enrique mentions a really good point is that Mux account, like the way it is now, if you're sending and you need to use a memo, that memo applies at the transaction level. And so, say for instance, an exchange can't batch accounts like in like one transaction, a bunch of operations, payment operations, because if someone was different people in those payments were asking for different memos, you can't do that.
yeah.
Whereas if you're using the multiplex option, the Mux option, they could be submitting 100 operation transactions, and the ID is embedded in the actual address. So yeah, there's tons of benefits, and like I said, it's something that people don't really understand, I think. So hopefully I can get a nice explainer video with some super cool graphics or something, so people can kind of tie it together in their head. So anyways, to circle back, Kraken now supports it. It's listed as, I think, network, which is also a little confusing. We've got a little bit of semantics to work on there. But yeah, just keep an eye out for that. If you guys hear of any other exchanges starting to support it, let us know. And also, if you've got time, hit up, like if you see an exchange posting on social media, let them know you wish they support it, because it'll really help everybody out. Stellar will be viewed as a much easier to use blockchain if this type of stuff gets implemented all over the place. So
It just takes a couple of poor experiences to ruin it. So
yeah, and it's like some of these people are losing a lot of money, and it's a pain point that has a solution. It's just not being used. So
100%.
I have a visitor coming. He does. See, the kids are supposed to be watching a show, but now I have one coming into the office. So like, shoo him away.
Are you adopting a child for the rest of the show? We can't swear, so it's good.
Yeah. He's just gonna stand in the doorway and be quiet because he knows he's not supposed to be here. Cool. So that covers that. The only other thing I had before we get to the good stuff is we have a new board member.
Woo!
What do you know about her?
Ginger Baker. Is it Baker?
Baker.
Baker. Yeah, she works for, is that how you say it? Plaid?
Plaid?
Plaid.
Come on, man.
I'm French, man. I can't say stuff like that. It doesn't work. So Plaid is a financial services provider, kind of like Stripe. They kind of let you plug into your bank accounts directly so that you can use services like Robinhood or Venmo. And they give an API to these very big companies to use their services. And Visa tried to buy them earlier this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for I think for a 3 point whatever billion valuation, and they actually have they had a $50 billion valuation that they raised for in their last round raising, whatever it's called. So this is a pretty fast growing company. And every time there's a new board member, every time we talk about new board members, we always ask who it is and what do they bring to the table. And the cool thing with Plaid or Ginger Baker here is that it's a vote of confidence from a very big financial service provider. So for someone who works with giant institutions to say that they have confidence in Stellar and the vision that they have is extremely rewarding. And I'm happy to see that we're getting these people. Like, getting new blood is important, because if you signed up as a board director, 4 years ago, like, you just you might not agree with the certain vision, and this is a reaffirmation that we're on the right path and doing the right things. So getting new blood into the board of directors is just it's incredibly valuable. So I'm really happy they have someone new. As
Did
a
you watch
person,
the intro video
the intro video, like
with her and Danelle?
the interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the interview. My biggest takeaway was that she was on student council, and
I missed
that
part of it. I was like in the pickup line at school picking up my daughter, but I heard something they
basketball.
both have kids in like basketball or something like that. So they
Everyone
were
loves
bonding over
basketball
that.
at SDF, man. It's like, if you don't like basketball, you're not cool.
I
So
know. I gotta start watching the Warriors or something.
the Warriors, is that what they
Yeah,
want?
it's like Danelle and Candace Kelly. I feel like they're always at Warriors games or something.
Wearing some Jordans.
Yeah, I don't know. I got to get back into it or something. It's just
Yeah.
down the road. I got to take a trip. I watched. I mean, I watched quite a bit. She kind of, and I don't even really know why, but I kind of got like a Tori Samples type vibe, where like just like very very smart, super sharp, like could walk into any room and just probably speak very knowledgeable about whatever's being talked about. And I don't even really know why. I haven't seen Tori Samples hardly at all besides Meridian.
She
But I
just joined Twitter again, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
So
wonder, I
that
wonder
was
if there's a
cool.
reason why she just rejoined Twitter.
Yeah, I wonder.
I wonder.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So, anyways, new board member. I know back at Meridian, we were wondering if Alexis Ohanian was speculated that might happen, but we still don't know why that was a thing. But I think that covers pretty much all the little stuff I
Yeah,
had.
what's the big kahuna here?
What's the big kahuna? What is the next? What is the next big thing? What
We
is
got teased by Stellar, and I'm still surprised that happened. Like,
coming soon? I mean, really, the
and then it was
only
taken down.
time,
And then it was taken down.
yeah, in the past, the only like literally the only time I remember any type of verbiage similar to this
Yeah.
was in the description of a like quarter. I think it was like a quarter in review or something like
Mhm.
that, and it was something. It ended up being Jeremy Allaire coming to announce that USDC was coming to Stellar,
Yeah.
and that's like literally the last time I remember any sort of like. And I don't even want to say hype. It wasn't even hype. It was just like we've got something important. Come listen, But when SDF is historically doesn't even use any words like that ever, everyone was like, oh my gosh. And so
The
now,
worst part is they're not on the same page. There's people that like want to do it, and there's others that are like, no, we shouldn't. So like they post it and then they remove that stuff all the time. The amount of tweets that get pulled and they get shown is insane.
yeah. So this one was similar. So for anyone that missed it, this what we're talking about is this popped up yesterday from the stellar.org or stellar.org Twitter account. It says the SDF engineering team is hard at work. Something big is coming. Stay tuned. So we saw that, which, as you say, was then taken down. Luckily, we got a little bit of a backup there, so we didn't totally miss it, not have anything to talk about there. So, anyways, we got a picture there, and we were trying to. We can just go through here, and we were trying to. More has come out since then, but yesterday when we saw this, we were trying to piece together and make sure we knew what we were
Can we
looking at.
show it and then like be underneath or something? Is that a thing? No.
So going through here, so we were at Meridian. Raph and I were both at Meridian, so I immediately recognized these people. So Shashank at the top, he works for the International Computing Center, the ICC. Is that what it is? Yeah, the UNICC. And the second person there in the top row, or I should say third column, top row, is Carmen Het, which pretty much told us at Meridian, what was going on. And then we've got another UNHCR guy, Ronald, over there. Second row, we've got Jake Urban, which we know has done integration type stuff. Then we've got some engineering managers. And then third row at the end, we've got Jesse on the Vibrant team. The bottom row on the left, Min, that's the GM of Vibrant. And then over on the right, we've got Mark Hanen, like VP of Partnerships, I believe. So we've got some partnership people. We've got Vibrant people. We've got UNHCR. We've got UNIC, International Computing Center.
Yeah.
So,
and then we also had in the following session after UNHCR, we had International Rescue Committee.
Yeah. So we were trying to put this together, and so this right here was when. So this was. So back at let me back up a second here. So you and I, we were at Meridian. We heard Carmen Het talk, and then it was followed by someone from ICC and then International Rescue Committee and stuff. And so we kind of knew that what this thing was going to happen. But much like the tweet, everything kind of got scrubbed and it went away. It was scrubbed.
Even the Meridian recap, they talked about UNHCR being there, but they never really recapped what they talked about.
Yeah. And so the only thing that was kind of evidence of what was going on was the UNICC posted this article about them being there with UNHCR and made some mentions about kind of what they were doing. Aid organizations with physical cash was kind of an issue. Talking about digital assets, converting cryptocurrency to cash. They mentioned the MoneyGram thing with USDC. And so there's been some information about this project out there, which should.
Can you show that? Can you show that one more time? Can you go to the bottom? I think they said it right at the bottom there. They said experimenting. Right there. I think you said it. The MoneyGram UNIC is supporting UNHCR experimenting with the Stellar platform for person of concerns to convert the digital dollar into fiat currency using services provided by MoneyGram.
Yep. So we got that. So there's that piece of the puzzle. And then, I mean, we can go back even further. And the very first time we heard about what we think, or essentially this project, I believe is what Danelle was referencing in this post, the 3 is a magic number, when she had worked for SDF for 3 years. This is going back to May 4th. And this is something, let's see, let me find it here. So she had this little line where she was talking about next month, the MoneyGram solution would go live. Then there was this line saying that this product required so much work in the past, leveraging the strengths of the network's architecture as well as USDC, Wire, Vibrant, Lobster, and creating real interoperability with traditional financial infrastructure. And it had this, which led you to the bottom. They said, I can't help myself from mentioning that there is also another big initiative on the horizon that brings some of these components together. So that was all the way back then. I'm pretty sure that's what this was, because we haven't seen anything else get released that would kind of be like that. And so we've got Vibrant. So what I looked into is I have a Vibrant account. So we know who creates those Vibrant accounts because the way the signers are set up and stuff like that. So we went and checked out the Vibrant account that creates all those. What have they been up to if there's maybe a project on the horizon? So here's the account that creates all of the accounts for Vibrant. And if you go down through here, there are a lot of accounts being created for the past few days. Lots and lots of accounts. And then also there's another account that I found that is doing a ton of small payments of USDC. This is 1214. Remember, this is UTC time, GMT 0. So the day is off. But they're creating creating a ton of accounts with basically just a small base reserve with some room for some trust lines and stuff. Tons and tons and tons and tons of small amounts. And it looks like a test though, because some of these, this USDC that they send ends up looping back to kind of a, uh, you know, a single account. So as opposed to it being a live thing, it does look like somewhat of a test possibly. So you've got the Vibrant account here creating a ton of accounts. You've got some account here that we don't really know passing around a ton of small USDC payments. You've got Stellar themselves this afternoon popping in with a
Ooh.
something big is coming live stream, which is tomorrow at 6 a.m. Hopefully that's Pacific because I am not getting up at 3 a.m. Yeah, Pacific time. Okay,
There you go.
perfect.
I think it's on my drive home, so I'll be tuning in. Sorry, my drive to school. So I'll be
Lucky you.
tuning
I've got
in.
to
So.
set an alarm. So we've got Danelle, Carmen Het from UNHCR, Dante from Circle,
Yeah.
and then Alex Holmes from MoneyGram. So we're pretty sure that we have enough pieces of the puzzle to know what they're going to be talking about. And it's going to be, with all this craziness that is happening, it's going to be a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
But one thing is that SDF, I mean, like we just said, them even saying something big is coming is big. Like that's just out of the norm. But you can be pretty much guaranteed that the amount of, like I said, the word hype will never happen with SDF. I don't care what happens. There will never be hype. And so us as a community, whenever this does come out, which it looks like maybe 6 a.m. tomorrow, like we need to be the ones being the voice, like it's going to be up to us to like put the word out there. Like this is a real use case solving an amazing problem.
Mm-hmm.
And like these people are concerned, like it's what it means to them. Like we'll never really understand because we're not in that
100%.
situation, but
Yeah.
being able to get that assistance and literally walk into a MoneyGram and grab that out is that process compared to what they're currently doing is probably insanely more efficient.
So we know exactly what happened because we were at that Meridian session and we
Yeah.
kind of understand the bigger scope of it. We have a video of the UNHCR reveal at Meridian in our last episode. So if you're curious, go check it out. What was kind of so essentially UNHCR is going to be using Stellar to send aid payments to those requiring assistance and their employees. So people that are on the ground, they can actually pay them because they don't have access to banks and they need quick access to buy some food or something. So UNHCR, part of the UN, same with, we suppose, the rescue community here, same thing. Rescue community is in charge of healthcare, education, and something else. I can't remember. So these people are going to be using crypto to give financial aid to people that need it the most. And here we are in a crypto space, all like super like stuck on FS Sam Bankman-Fried. And here we are with finally a real use case that can like say that crypto is good and we can make real change. So these people are going to get real money like instantaneously, and they're going to be able to walk to any MoneyGram location in the world if they're in another country. So for example, refugees in Canada here, like no bank account, they can walk up to any postal office and get money out. That's cool.
Yeah. It'll be nice to see the money flowing around. Like we don't know if those accounts that we saw, I mean, we can tell what's a Vibrant account and what isn't. And that's, from my understanding, it is going to be Vibrant accounts. That they're using for this. You can just tell by the signer setup and all the sponsored reserves and stuff like that what's a Vibrant account and what isn't. But just when we start to see that volume of payments go out, it'll be nice. And going back to the marketing side of it, like I mean, Stellar as a whole is just a little bit smaller of a community, and it'll just be nice because I mean, since Meridian, we've kind of known this was happening, and like since the FTX stuff, there's been people posting like, "Where's the real use case?" And like
Yeah.
we've known this is like in the works because we heard Carmen talk about it at Meridian, but we didn't have anything concrete. They removed her video from from the Meridian from YouTube and stuff like that, and so we don't really hadn't really had anything to show. But hopefully tomorrow,
Yeah.
after this live stream or something, we have like something to show. And I just hope that all the news places that are so just stuck on the chaos of SBF, and even with all this stuff in
Yeah.
Washington D.C. today,
Yeah.
like if this was out before that, like it would have been so cool to hear people bring that up during all those hearings and stuff like that. So I just hope that it doesn't get overshadowed by all the absurdity of SBF and all that stuff. Like people love drama, but like this, they've had enough. Like it's been all that you've seen for a while. Like let's just take
But
a
that's like
pause and
that's the other point from UNHCR too. Like, at what point does UNHCR wants to distance themselves with this cool, crypto tech that they're using? I think it's important for them and for us to advocate more than ever, because we should be encouraging other businesses to use the underlying technology that can make real change.
yeah.
And if UNHCR doesn't become the advocate and say, cool things on Stellar or cool things in blockchain, we can use this, then nobody else is. And those conversations are going to become, like you said earlier, stablecoins, increasingly difficult to have. So we need to advocate, UNHCR needs to advocate, we all need to advocate for the technology that we're using.
Yeah. And these people, I mean, they don't have to understand that it's crypto in the
No.
background of how they're getting their money. All they understand is that I have this app and it tells me I get some money, and I go into a MoneyGram and they give me cash for it. So it's a bank account to them. It's however they want to envision it in their head.
Yeah.
But, the
And
complexities
Vibrant is
of
exactly that.
crypto, you know.
Vibrant is dead easy.
Yeah. And I mean the key recovery solutions they have and stuff like that, like it's um we've always said, you and we've always kind of referred people there for a basic wallet,
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Is there
I really, I
no,
mean, I hope the MoneyGram side, I hope it is thoroughly tested and solid. Like that needs to be perfect. The Vibrant side, like that's important. Like those two pieces, Vibrant and MoneyGram, have to be on their game. Like
yeah.
that's going to be the biggest thing for me to keep an eye on, is to make sure that those two things keep chugging along as they're
the
supposed to.
the end game is everyone transacts, USDC to USDC or stablecoin to stablecoin from phone to phone, and we've just created all these really cool digital economies, because Stellar is one of the uniquely positioned blockchains that has USDC, that's reliable, that's trusted, and that can support instant cheap payments. So like we have the tech to make this happen. And it's like, again, the end result is you walk up to someone else and you give them $5 and instantaneously they have $5 in their pocket. Or you give $5 at the store and the guy receives $5 and it's a stable coin. It's it's USDC. Like both people trust the stable coins. Like it's the whole Vibrant Act. Yes. Okay. We're talking about maybe 100 million, refugees, which is insane. That's an insane amount. Probably won't be that much to begin with, much smaller, but real use cases push real change. And eventually, if these people are interacting between each other people are going to jump in. And it's only natural progressions that you're going to see businesses or other, new, like you should think of Sri Lanka with the political unrest. Like government goes away, economy just disappears. They need a new currency. Well, they can jump on Vibrant and now transact with USDC in moments, and they don't even have to think about the blockchain tech that's behind it. Like that's
Yeah.
never happened in history. It's cool. So this is the moment for crypto. We just need to advocate for ourselves.
Yeah. And I mean, a while back, Mark Hanen, remember, I feel like it was you that asked him at some place, like, what's the next step for, was it Vibrant or something, or somehow? And he said, like, is the thought people being able to, or with the MoneyGram thing, was it like, is the thought people being able to go in and like actually use that as a form of payment? And I remember his reply was absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then also to loop this back into the Muxt account earlier, like imagine how this payment could work. Like you have your Vibrant wallet and you go in to buy something and it just shows you a QR code. Well, with just a QR code, if you don't use a Muxt account, a Muxt address, you're just sending to just like an exchange. Well, as long as the wallet that you're scanning supports Muxt accounts,
Yeah.
like when they generate that QR code or your transaction on their little, Clover screen or whatever, point of sale machine, it can embed your transaction ID number in that QR code so that you're actually scanning a Muxt QR code.
Mm-hmm.
And so that when that payment goes through, they have the transaction that it's for and, the payment itself. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just another way that Muxt accounts are
It's
beneficial.
crazy when we go back to Plaid, that how hard it is to integrate bank accounts, but like how easy it is to integrate Stellar. Like when you take USDC and you take it and you have an address and you can prove that person has the amount that they want to spend. Like, again, we're going to see in the next 10 to 20 years here a mass adoption or replacement of bank accounts with crypto assets or provable assets on a blockchain. So like, it's just, this is a no brainer. Don't get lost in the noise that we see in the ecosystem. Like Stellar and crypto is the way.
There you go. We should have been ready to end the episode right there. Stellar is the way. It's like,
It is the way,
yeah,
man.
all right, we're out.
There's cool stuff. There's cool stuff happening. So
yeah, no,
tomorrow.
Environment's a great wallet for them to be using for this. I mean, it's very bare bones. There's no DEX access. There's nothing you can swap, stuff like that. But it's pretty much a bare bones wallet. Great for people that don't have any desire to learn anything more about crypto. They're not gonna do any trading or anything like that. But yeah, the on and off ramp with MoneyGram will be where the really big stress test for this happens, I think.
There's another event tomorrow too, right? That you had to screenshot
Yeah,
of?
so I mean, we were trying to figure out who could be involved in this, and they weren't mentioned on there. But at Meridian, since the International Rescue Committee was there, I started following them on Twitter, and they also have they posted this on Twitter. They have a live stream happening tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern, which is actually even before the Stellar thing. And it doesn't mention literally anything that's related. I just thought it was interesting because it's like the CEO with just a news reporter, which might be normal for them. I haven't like followed them for that long, just since Meridian, which has been like 2 months. So they might do this every quarter. I have no idea, but it was just kind of like,
It's
I saw
interesting
this come
timing.
through for tomorrow, and then the thing for Stellar for SDF was tomorrow. So I was just trying to connect some dots there.
We don't really know. I didn't really understand exactly what they were doing at Meridian, but it seems like Stellar is being integrated as a blockchain solution for a majority or a large portion of NGOs or at the UN altogether. So it's cool.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow we get some clarity. I mean, big is in capital letters, all caps. I mean, it's got to be big.
Yeah.
Massive. But I like how they just dip their toes in. Just something big. Not something massive. Just something big. Just a little bit.
But then they took it down. And I guess the other one, the YouTube one actually says something big too.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's something big. That's literally the title of the YouTube is something big is coming. And then also Mark Hainan on LinkedIn, he posted this. We have some imminent, exciting, and substantive developments brewing here at SDF that proves out the power that blockchain provides.
Yeah.
So we've got evidence aplenty of some big stuff coming, and looks like it could be tomorrow. So yeah, it's up to us. We gotta champion this thing. We gotta get the word out to our tens of followers and viewers here. So
I was hoping I had my Stellar hat to snap on, but
you don't have any Stellar stuff? I don't know. All I have is my like charger, like thing from Meridian.
My Stellar medal here.
Your medal? I can't
medal.
see it. I got like my charger over here. I got a water bottle sitting.
I got a Meridian sticker lying around too. Oh, can't even see it.
There you go.
We got
Meridian. I'm still waiting for my Vibrant stuff.
I got a Me and Ness show sticker. I got all my souvenirs here for
Good you.
Oh man, I don't know where all my. I wish I had the cap.
I still have a backpack to give away. Oh yeah, we got to do NFT stuff.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Do we have any more stuff, or do we just want to leave it at that? Where
Do we
hopefully
want to?
tomorrow we're going to hear some stuff that's important in the grand scheme of things
Yeah,
in the world, and it's going to be up to us as a community to champion this thing and spread the good word
of the stellar.
of the stellar.
So, do we want to maybe just we'll throw it out to everyone here after the show here? If you guys can send us your public keys, and we will send you a little proof of attendance, a little NFT, and then we'll use that eventually for some prizes.
Yeah, so once we stop the show here, I'll throw up a screen that has both Raph and I's Twitter, Discord, however you want to get a hold of us, Reddit. And yeah, if you want to shoot us a public key, we will pass along a claimable balance for an NFT. We're going to do some more giveaways. Enrique was the last winner, but then he was at Meridian and got more goodies than we were going to have anyways. So we've got backpacks, shirts, water bottles, all sorts of stuff. So we're still working on, we're starting work on a website to house all of our content and other
Exciting
stuffs. So yeah, there will be some functionality, but for now, collect them and they will be worth many, many, many muchos in the future.
Yeah, one Jayrome NFT is worth another Jayrome NFT.
Yep. SEC
We'll
is going to come after me selling securities, hyping them up.
I'm going to start buying our NFTs to make a fake floor so that you have to submit your taxes getting these.
Don't do that. Don't do that. We don't want to do that. All right, cool. Well, that's it, man. Hour 15 minutes. We always end up chatting for longer than I think it's gonna be. But after tomorrow's news, I mean, maybe we jump on, do something tomorrow just to kind of go over what they went over and toss some thoughts. Maybe we can get some community people to join in.
That'd be cool.
Tomorrow. Nobody wants to show their mug, man. Just my winter version of Jayrome here. It's cold in the house. So yeah, that's all I got, man. Yeah, send us some public keys, and we will see you next time. If you guys want to get notified next time we go live, I think you can, once you subscribe, you can hit the little doorbell icon and get notified when we post some more Stellar Quest walkthroughs or some how-tos. Or
there's a couple more coming.
Or go live. So
yeah,
all sorts of goodies. So give us a thumbs up, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and send us some public keys, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, take care, guys. Thanks for coming.
See ya.
So bye.